Guys, how you doing? My name is Andre. Welcome back to a new video. This is my week 4 NFL picks for the 2017-2018 season. Um, Before we start, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It will truly mean a lot to me. Let's get right into it. First game, Thursday Night Football. Got the Packers versus the Bears. Taking the Packers for this one. They have Aaron Rodgers. So let's put it simply as that. Second game, Dolphins versus the Saints. The Dolphins last week got beat by the Jets. That was very surprising to me. I do think the Dolphins will beat the Saints this week. Then we have the Patriots and Panthers. I'm taking the Patriots. Cam Newton is back to looking like the old Cam Newton. Tom Brady. What's his stats this season? I believe 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. That's the MVP of the season to me. I have the Jaguars to beat the Jets. The Jaguars surprised me at London by beating the Ravens. They put the smackdown on the. They put the beating on the Ravens. Pretty sure nobody saw that coming. Have the Titans to beat the Texans. Texans defense is good, but my gut is just telling me the Titans. I love Marcus Mariota. Love the running game that they have. Let me fix this camera real quick. I'm taking the Lions to beat the Vikings. If you watched that Lions game last week against the Falcons, you know it was a great game. I'm taking the Cowboys to beat the Rams. The Cowboys bounce back. Excuse me. They bounce back. By beating the Cardinals. As you know, they got destroyed by the Broncos. I'm taking the Falcons to beat the Bills. The Bills are a very interesting team just because Tyrod Taylor's not your normal quarterback. He's not a pocket passing quarterback. He's not a normal NFL type of quarterback. And then you have the Falcons, Matt Ryan, who won MVP last season. He's not playing like an MVP last year. That he was last year. He needs to step it up. I've got the Steelers to beat the Steelers to beat the Ravens. I think that Steelers offense is too high powered, and I don't trust the Ravens after getting beat by the Jaguars like that last week. Then I have the Bengals to beat the Browns. Both teams are 0-3. It's just simple. Just the Bengals better than the Browns. It'll be interesting to see if the Browns get a win this season. Then I have the Bucks to beat the Giants. I think the Giants will slide down to 0-4. This is a must-win game for them against the Bucks. Then I have the Cardinals to beat the 49ers. Then I have the Eagles to beat the Chargers. The Eagles' running game last week was pretty good. Doug Peterson still has some questionable play calling that he typically has. Young coaches, they do have that, just being his second year. There was a fourth and 8 that he went for, like in the second quarter, almost to the 50-yard line. He went for it, 4th and 8. I don't know why. Then I have the Raiders to beat the Broncos. I didn't think that the Raiders would have lost to. I didn't think the Raiders would have lost to Washington, but that was a big surprise to me. I do think the Raiders will beat the Broncos this week. This game, I think, will be one of the best games this week that they'll have this week. Um, I have the Seahawks to beat the Colts. We'll see when Andrew Luck gets back. The Seahawks, their defense, they need to show some stuff. There's a lot of question marks with that team, with that locker room. Then I have the Chiefs to lose to. I have the Chiefs beating the Redskins. My fault. Do think the Chiefs will move to 4-0. Washington will fall down to 2-2. All right. Well, that's my picks for this week 4. Let me just take a quick look back at how week 3 was. I did have the Rams to beat the Niners. I got the sorry. The Jaguars beat the Rams. The Ravens, which I got wrong, which I was very surprised by that. I got the Patriots to beat the Texans. That was a very great game. I picked the Eagles to beat the Giants. What a job by the Eagles. They did show character, but if you're an Eagles fan, a lot of things did go wrong. They should have never came back. The Giants should have never came back. Huge shout out to Jake Elliott for nailing that 61-yard field goal. Yes, 61-yard field goal. I picked the Colts. I picked the Browns to beat the Colts. Got that wrong. I picked the Dolphins to beat the Jets. Got that wrong. That was a huge surprise. I thought the Dolphins would have stormed through the Jets. I thought Jay Ajayi would have just 200 plus yards running the ball. Obviously that was wrong. What they had, like 14 yards or something like that. I picked the Bucks to beat the Vikings. That was, I was watching that game. Huge disappointment. That is the Bucks. I had the Broncos to beat the Bills. This is just one of those games where, the Broncos, they come off a huge win against the Cowboys, and they just look average. Just plain average against the Bills. Less than average, that is. I did have the Saints to beat the Panthers. Cam Newton, he just had one great season. To me, I think he's overhyped. I picked the Steelers to beat the Bears. That didn't go right. What a job by the Bears, though. That's a huge win for them. I did pick the Falcons to beat the Lions, but yet that was a great game. A very, very close and tight game all throughout the end. Matt Ryan, he needs to improve. He threw 4 interceptions that game. That needs to improve a lot. I did pick. I did pick the Titans to beat the Seahawks. That was a very gutsy move by me. I don't believe the Seahawks as much as I did 3 or 4 years ago. Ever since that, they didn't run the ball on the 1-yard line when they had Marshawn Lynch. That's a huge mistake by them, and I think ever since that time, their locker room has just been split in the middle. They don't have the trust that they used to have. I did pick the Packers to beat the Bengals. First half, the Bengals were just destroying the Packers. I think Aaron Rodgers got sacked like 4 or 5 times in the first half. That was a huge surprise to me. But in this win, something else that surprised me is that Aaron Rodgers had his first overtime win. Wow, that surprised me a lot. It's getting hard in here. I did pick the Chiefs to beat the Chargers. Chiefs moved to 3-0. they're the team, everybody talked about them week 1 when they beat the Patriots, but ever since then, nobody's been talking about them as much. Um, uh, I picked the Raiders to beat the Redskins. I was wrong with that. That was just a very poor game by the Raiders. And I did pick the Cowboys to beat the Cardinals. Cowboys played a good game. Shout out to Larry Fitzgerald, man. Future Hall of Famer. Alright, that basically wraps it up, guys. All I can say, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It would mean a lot. Like the video. Comment who do you think will win, if you agree or disagree with me. Alright, boys. Peace.